Welcome to another episode of Your Health and Faith Community. I'm your host, Pastor Jackie Jackson, and as always, on behalf of myself and our producer, Anita Alexander, we want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us. And as always, we hope that we give you some information today that will help improve your quality of life. Now, I'm going to say it. Have you gotten enrolled in health care since the last time I spoke with you? I do it every week, or almost every week. But I got to ask you, have you enrolled in health care? Look, if you are single and your income is $16,500 a year or less, that makes you eligible for Medicaid through the state of Ohio. Medicaid covers your dental, your doctor's visits, emergency room, your medical, your prescriptions, mental health. If you need that, and you do because you're a human, you need health care. You got to get a checkup, right? Listen, if you are employed and your income is over, and you're single and your income is over the $16,500 a month, then that means you would go to the marketplace if you have just recently, and let me go back before I go into the why. If you have recently experienced a life-changing event, because open enrollment in the marketplace is closed until around November. But if you've recently lost a job, have gotten a new job, have gotten married, divorced, had a baby, recently came home from a correctional institution, recently moved into the state of Ohio and have quarantined for 14 days after you moved here, then that makes you eligible to enroll at the marketplace. The people, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, the marketplace, is all the same thing. But that makes you eligible to enroll. One serious stay in the hospital can cause you to go into bankruptcy. In fact, bankruptcy is medical bills are one of the leading causes for bankruptcy in the United States. And I know young people, you're like, I'm invincible, nothing's going to happen. But say you're out there playing basketball, you come down bad, you break your ankle, you don't have health insurance. Believe me, that's going to mess up your money. That's going to mess up your pocket, because they're going to cost you, and then you're going to have to go maybe to therapy. You're going to have to get medication. It's just going to be too much for your pocket. So please, if you don't want to do it for you, do it for somebody that you love. Hey, listen, especially if you're a parent, and wear your mask, right? Listen, Noah did not get off the boat to prove that he was faithful. He stayed right on that ark until that dove came back and let him know there's some dry land coming. That's what you need to do with that mask. You need to take care of yourself. Maybe you don't care about you, but what about your children? What about your grandchildren? What about your mother, your dad, your aunt, your wife, your husband, your niece, your nephew? Mm-hmm. What about me? So keep your mask on, get health care. I'm done. I'm going to leave it. Oh, one more thing. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Now what? We've got the world listening. Where do we go from here? What do we want to do? Did we just want them to go along with us and say Black Lives Matter? Or do you have an agenda? Do you have something you want to see? Hey, let's talk about it. Well, I want to talk about our guest today. We have with us Dr. Jamila K. Maddox. Dr. Maddox is a world citizen. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, go Bengals, go Bengals. And nurtured in the United States, Europe, and Africa. Her family, friends, associates, and patients are from all over the world. And since 2010, Dr. Maddox has delivered high-quality health care to area residents to eliminate their pain and optimize their wellness potential. Dr. Maddox now considers herself to be a holistic chiropractor and nutritionist, incorporating the best of the chiropractic world with the finest and high-quality nutrition. Her passion is providing natural health improvement to help her patients look good, feel good, and function at their optimal levels. Dr. Maddox, welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
This is really awesome. So you are a chiropractor and a nutritionist.
Yes, I am.
So for people who may not know, which I kind of find hard, but tell me, a chiropractor, what's a chiropractor?
So a chiropractor is trained to look at joints and muscles and kind of remove like kinks, muscle knots, sprains, strains, and just regular, neck pain, back pain, headaches. So, and I kind of add a little nutrition into it because nutrition can make the neck pain, back pain worse, or it can kind of resolve it, reconcile it so that you don't suffer from it anymore. And so I'm able to expand my reach, adding in the nutrition.
So I guess I can see the back pain. Maybe if my nutrition is bad, maybe I'm gaining weight and that's causing a problem. How does nutrition affect my neck pain?
So pain is also known as inflammation, right? And so pain and inflammation in the joints. So it could be in the neck, it could be in the back, it could be in the shoulder and the knee, is from mainly, or has a role with mainly sugar intake. And when I'm talking about sugar, I'm talking about processed and refined carbohydrates, right? So when someone has neck pain or like a kink in their neck, that's kind of the beginning of that symptom profile. But let's fast forward it to arthritis in the neck. That's a degenerative condition, and degenerative conditions in the body, early aging in the body, is brought on by processed and refined carbohydrates. So like, the sweet tea that we drink, the honey buns, if people still eat those, no judgment, and even potato chips,
What you talking about, Willis?
So the goal is, as we begin to resolve that neck pain and joint pain anywhere in the body, we first start with the diet and the nutrition, and we clean that up. And then we can have a better quality of life.
Okay. So I jumped into what you do, but I didn't say the name of your practice, which is Cincinnati Healing Arts. Right?
Yes.
I know it has a longer title. I don't remember the whole title, so I'll throw that over to you.
Yeah, Cincinnati Healing Arts, Chiropractic and Nutrition. And a friend of mine, we went to school together, she worked at a Seattle Healing Arts. And I just love the name. And so once I graduated, I said, I'm going to name my practice Cincinnati Healing Arts. And it was a little avant-garde at the time. I graduated in 2006, but it has grown into something amazing and beautiful. And I have the healthiest patients. They come, some of them are healthy and they get healthier. Some, have kind of average health, and then they come into better quality health. So it's just a wonderful place to kind of heal, repair, and transform their health and their family's health. And it's just, we have a really good time.
Is it normal for a chiropractor to also be a nutritionist? I know a number of chiropractors. I've seen a couple. I have never, until today, until right now,
Right.
heard a chiropractor talk nutrition.
Right. So there's many specialties when it comes to chiropractic. Some of them focus in sports. Some of them focus in pediatrics. Some of us focus with nutrition, radiology. So it really just depends. I was kind of grandfathered into this lifestyle because my parents were vegetarians when they met each other. They regularly meditated. They had memberships to Williams Y. We didn't have white sugar in our home until we were teenagers, until my sister and I were teenagers. The only cereal that we were allowed to get was Nutri-Grain. I don't even know if they make that anymore.
Yeah,
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
And so making our meals at home from scratch, with, natural ingredients. And by that I mean without processed and without refined sauces, salad dressings, things of that sort was a regular occurrence. And so it was just really natural for me to add in the nutrition in my practice.
Wow. That's really interesting. No, really, that's interesting. No sugar, no white sugar, no Captain Crunch.
No Captain Crunch. In fact, you might find this really funny. So I would go to my grandmother's house because my mother would tell my grandmother, this is what Maisha and Jamila are eating. They need to stick to this diet. But she would have like Honey Nut Cheerios, which was like a vacation. Like, we never got Honey Nut Cheerios.
Did you
I did.
Oh, okay.
And I remember visiting my other grandmother. She had, what was it, the cornflakes. And I was so excited to add what I thought was sugar into my cornflakes. I was going fast. And actually, I was sneaking, to be completely honest. And then when I went to taste it, it was salt. So, of course, I didn't eat that. Yeah, it was crazy. I was trying to, put a couple of scoops of sugar, what I thought was sugar. And, yeah, so that was interesting. But, yeah, no sugar. And actually, today, I don't eat sugar. My husband does. But I eat pretty much a no sugar added diet as close to possible because sugar leads to physical degeneration in the body, and that comes with a number of labels. So you have arthritis, you have diabetes, you have obesity, even high cholesterol, cardiovascular disease. There's that underlying inflammation, and what we do the most of is eat. And, one of the blessings of the coronavirus is we've had to be at home, and so some of us have become very intentional about what we're putting inside of our bodies. I know I have, spent more time recreating recipes from my favorite restaurants that no longer are my favorite restaurants because I like the way I make it without all the extra stuff added in. And so, yes, it's a wonderful tool to increase the quality of your life, because we're living longer, right? Mm-hmm. We live longer, but what we don't want is to go into a nursing home and have someone else feed us and change our diapers. That's not the quality that we want.
So we live longer, but we're living a longer life, but not always a quality life.
Exactly.
So let me ask you something. Looking at your very long bio, which is awesome.
Thank you.
I see here where it says you consider yourself a holistic, so not just a chiropractor and nutritionist, but a holistic.
Right.
For people who may not know what it means when you say holistic.
So holistic is kind of the whole body and mind. So we have the nutrition, and we may also include nutritional supplements. Like turmeric is a wonderful anti-inflammatory supplement that
What is it?
Turmeric, the spice.
Okay.
But it also comes in a tablet form, and it's wonderful for pain in the body, especially like joint pain, neck pain. So, and then we want to incorporate the chiropractic adjustment, but we also want to make sure that we're staying hydrated. So water intake is very important. Developing a sleep hygiene, sleep routine is very important because our bodies do a lot of healing overnight. Then we also want to engage in the mind-body connection. So whether someone prays or whether they meditate or whether they do yoga, that's really important. We also want to engage in physical activity. And it doesn't have to be like running a marathon. It could be something as simple as taking a 30-minute walk outside. And then I have this new kind of auto-suggestion technique that I have my patients doing where you simply recite, it goes like this: it's every day in every way, I am getting better and better. And you say that 20 times before you go to sleep, and you say it 20 times when you wake up. And what that does is it reprograms your neurons so that shows up in your physical body. So there's not a lot of documentation to demonstrate the positive benefits for the mind-body connection, but I do know that they have clinical studies on people who meditate regularly versus not, and how that helps to kind of fast forward their health. But what I try to impress to my patients is if you add that mindfulness component, it accelerates your healing, and so, but treating the whole body, the food, the supplements, if you need them, the exercise, the mindfulness, and I'm missing one, the auto-suggestion will kind of tie the whole body in concert so that you experience that healing potential.
So it's kind of on the positive reinforcement is kind of the speaking from the Bible, speaking things into existence.
Proverbs 18:21, yes, sir.
So, I always think about that from a spiritual standpoint, or even certain things, just never when I'm sick, never so much along that way. And I'm one that I normally sleep 4 to 5 hours a night. And what's weird, if I sleep, on the rare occasions I sleep 6, 7 hours, I wake up more tired than I do if I sleep 4 or 5 hours.
Right, and I have heard that before. And sleep and many things are individual. So the standard could be 7 to 8 hours, but you function better with 4 or 5 hours. And that's you. It's unique to the individual, and that's really important to kind of take that into consideration. You don't want to just take the guidelines, blindly. You want to evaluate them against yourself because you live with you. So. So let's say I want to achieve this. Let me see. How did you put it here? I want to get to that. That optimal health.
Look good, feel good, and function at their optimal level.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
What do we need to do? Because, you've given us some information, but what do we need to do?
So I would say today, the first thing you want to do, because this is what we do the most of, is eat. So you want to begin reading the labels of everything you eat and drink forever. Because there's certain ingredients that will make you look old and that will kind of rob you of your vitality, like sugar, like high fructose corn syrup, which is in salad dressings and...
Well, what am I supposed to put on my salad?
Olive oil is a wonderful option. You can even infuse it with different herbs, and they sell it that way, so you don't have to do it yourself. And then balsamic vinegar. So you want to use the whole ingredients, not the ones that they make in the grocery store, because much of what they make in the grocery store increases a person's bottom line, but it doesn't increase your health bottom line. It actually is the opposite, has the opposite effect. So you want to use not a balsamic vinaigrette, balsamic vinegar.
You're taking everything from me, Doc. You're taking.
Well, if you want to feel good and look good, part of that, equation is removing the detrimental ingredients and putting in the life-giving ingredients, and those are the whole foods. So the other ingredient that I want to just kind of give a little bit of attention to is vegetable seed oils, because we do a lot of frying, in the skillet, in a pot, and those are very detrimental to our health. And
the
so
pots?
the vegetable seed oils, so like the canola oil, just straight up vegetable oil. So what you want to do is, if you're kind of sauteing on medium heat, that's where you can use the olive oil. If you want to do a salad, you can use the olive oil in a salad. If you want high heat for frying, then you want to do coconut oil. And some people say, I don't like the coconut flavor. Okay, no problem. Buy the refined coconut oil, which removes the coconut taste out of it.
Okay. So I've been probably the last 2 maybe 3 years, where I haven't bought vegetable oil or corn oil or anything. So I have been on the olive oil for maybe a little bit more. But I don't eat a lot of fried at home. I don't eat a lot of fried home. I'm a survivor of a heart attack.
Okay.
I'm not going to act like since 2006 I've just been the perfect eater, but I don't eat a lot of fried foods. And then when I'm doing anything, like when I want to take chicken breasts and just kind of saute it, I do it in olive oil. And I will admit, at first it took some getting used to, because I didn't have my fried taste, and it was just the taste. But then after a while, I got to where
it was good.
Yeah, when I eat chicken that's not in olive oil, I notice it, and it's like, I deal with it, but it's not the same. So I want to look at my diet. I want to look at the foods. You said sugar. Like I said, you're just taking everything from me. But
It's so funny because when my patients say, "Oh, Dr. Maddox, this tastes so good," I know what they really mean is it tastes sweet. And they're talking specifically about the sugar.
yeah.
The sugar, in my office right now, one of the ways that I'm staying engaged with my patients is we have a book club. And we're reading this book called The Sugar Blues, and it is fascinating. Oh my goodness, chapter 2 is a history chapter. I'm not really a history buff, but it's a history chapter. Anyway, it was before high fructose corn syrup. This book was written 45 years ago. And so the same cardiovascular, diabetes, joint pain, arthritis showed up then like it is now, except for now it's accelerated. And it was interesting because the author made a point that in the beginning, when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, there was no disease and there was no added sugar. Now they did have dates, they had plums, they had melons, but they didn't have any added sugar. Once the added sugar hit the scene, it started creating tragedies within every culture that consumed it. And then it just became excessive, and so those tragedies expressed at an even more rapid rate, more physical degeneration. And so sugar is really something that you want to become aware of, and you want to at least, as you kind of come in line with how much you consume, you don't have to cut it out completely, but you want to become aware of it and start reducing it.
So reducing that, so the sugar, the oils the greases or oils that we're cooking in, the salad dressings, we want to look at that.
The umbrella is processed and refined foods.
Processed and refined food.
Which usually have sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and vegetable oil, somewhere in that combination. And they can also have white flour, which is inflammatory as well. So if you see something that has all of those ingredients, which is usually a convenience food, meaning that you can just go to the store and buy it and then sometimes eat it right out the bag or right out the box, or go home and warm it up, versus taking the time, cutting up your vegetables, marinating your salmon or your chicken, and then serving it, with your vegetables. And there's a couple of, easy fixes that we can do so that you can still kind of translate out to have your bread or your rice or your pasta, but that it doesn't create, imbalance and dysfunction in your body.
So the healthy choice meals that I like to get from time to time and pop in the microwave, I realize they're not really a healthy choice. They're easy and they are good, but I realize that.
Great marketing.
Listen, and that's why I buy it, because I'm like, well, I'm buying a healthy choice. I know it's not. So my foods, my sugars, my oils, salad dressings, I need to rest.
You need to rest more. You need to drink half your body weight in water. You need to...
Half my body weight in water?
Half your body weight in water a day. Work your way up to it.
Okay, because I weigh 216. So I got to drink 116 pounds of water?
You could take it up to 128 ounces of water.
Okay, not pounds. This is my body weight. That's a lot of water.
I'm sorry, I did say that. You're right. I was like, that's not too much, but yes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, 160 ounces in water. And then you want to get outside and take a walk, a 30-minute walk a day, to just kind of disconnect from, all of the...
Now, I ride a bike.
Same thing. Okay. And then you want to add in that mindfulness component. And
the what?
The mindfulness component, so the prayer, the meditation, yoga. And then I found that adding in the auto-suggestion is just kind of reminding the body to be amazing, because that's the way we were designed. So.
Okay. So once I fix that, I get my rest. I add in the positive reinforcement. That's
Absolutely.
Not the right phrase. I
know,
well,
no. Auto-suggestion, which is part of positive reinforcement.
No, I like the
auto-suggestion.
The auto-suggestion. And so all of those working together, even if I'm already in a bad way, doesn't mean it's going to take me back to my youth, but it can at least begin to reverse some of.
It will begin to reduce, and potentially, fully reverse some of the imbalance that your body is experiencing. Part of why this works so well is because you do it daily. And anything that we do daily, we become an expert in. Right. So if we wake up at 3 a.m. and eat a bowl of, Trix cereal, we become an expert at, eating Trix cereal. So we just want to start gradually. And that's the other thing, because it can be overwhelming making all of these changes at one time. So you want to start gradually. So I would say, if someone wants to begin reducing sugar out of their diet, start with their beverages. First of all, you do want to read all the labels before you consume anything, because you want to put quality inside of these temples, right? And so you want to start reading the labels. But before you go to the food, cut out or begin reducing the drinks. Because drinks, first of all, they sell more than one serving size in a container. And you're thinking, I'm just drinking one. But it could be 3 servings, and you're getting 3 servings times 3 times the amount of sugar, times 3 times the amount of preservatives, the amount of high fructose corn syrup, because oftentimes in drinks and in food, they will add like 3 or 4 different types of sugars. Like, that's way too much.
And that definitely helps with your weight, I know.
It definitely helps with your weight.
Let me ask you this. I have just rediscovered, I guess, or got back into grape juice, the Welch's Concord, not the drink, but the actual juice,
okay.
100% juice.
Okay.
Are 100% juices really healthy for you?
It depends on the individual. And the reason I say that is because if you have dysregulated blood glucose, if you eat sugar most of the time, then the 100% Welch's grape juice or whatever 100% juice that Welch's makes could be a problem for you and anyone else, because juice has sugar in it that is called fructose. So, which is actually like high fructose corn syrup, same fructose. So, fruit juice, any juice, even cold pressed juice, if you have a problem, if your blood sugar is dysregulated, it's not, it's above what it should be to keep you in balance, I would say cease drinking the grape juice. Get measured, and once you know that your blood glucose is within a normal, healthy range, then you can start drinking the grape juice again.
Okay. I know that we didn't get into the chiropractic part, and I am so sorry.
No. The really cool thing about the nutrition is it affects your joints. It affects the neck, and it affects the low back, and it affects the muscles. And so I really enjoy tremendously working with my nutrition patients because I can improve their chiropractic baseline. So I get to work on that indirectly. So we talked about it.
Okay, then great. And hopefully you'll come back again.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there are a lot that I wanted to talk about on the chiropractic side.
Okay, for sure.
So definitely if you'll come back.
Yes.
But I definitely appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Sharing some information, busting some of my bubbles. But I need some bubbles busted. So and actually, if we're honest, we all need some bubbles busted.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, no matter how healthy we think we're doing it, if we actually step back and look at it like Healthy Choice or I forget all the other frozen foods. Because one of the things I know, and I'm going to have to get out of here before Anita gets me, but one of the things that I notice even on the frozen things like Healthy Choice, the sodium is through the roof on them. And then we go home and we add a little more seasoning because it's a lot of sodium, but it's not sodium where we taste it, so it can be deceiving because you taste it and it's like, there's no salt, there's no sodium in here. So then you start adding more salt and your intake is there. But I thank you, Dr. Maddox.
Thank you.
Some very good information. Definitely,
Yes.
like I said, you come back again. Listen, everybody, I know you got some information today that will help your quality of life. Anita, our producer, she will put up information on how you can contact Dr. Maddox. I plan on contacting Dr. Maddox. You need to give her a call. Let's get ourselves together. Like she said, we want to live long life, but we want to live a long life with quality. So we want to thank you again on behalf of myself, producer Anita Alexander, Stay safe, stay healthy.